Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the third lesson, Around a Medicinal Creeper, written by Purnendra Tejasi. Let me introduce the author first. Kupale Puttappa Purnendra Tejasi was born in 1938. He is a prominent Indian writer and novelist in Kannada. He has a distinguished style of writing which has heralded a new era in Kannada literature. In the early stages of his writing career, Tejasi wrote poems but later concentrated on short stories, novels, and essays. Around a Medicinal Creeper is one of the short stories written by him. His death in 2007 was a great loss to the Kannada literature. Now come to the heading of the lesson, Around a Medicinal Creeper. From the heading itself, it's clear that the lesson is about a creeper which is used as a medicine. What's a creeper? You can see the picture of a creeper in the slide. So any plant that grows by creeping, example ivy, watermelon, etc. India is a land of Ayurveda and we are using different plants for treating different diseases. I hope you are familiar with some medicinal plants. At home itself, if we have cough and cold, we will prepare coffee with tulsi, dried ginger, pepper and jaggery and drink it. All the symptoms will subside within a few days if we do so. In the first sentence itself, the author says that this is the story of an unusual medicinal creeper and he is going to tell some stories about this creeper. Some are true, some imaginary and some totally false. He continues that it took 20 years for him to know some facts about the creeper. The author Purnendra Tejasi had a coffee plantation. A coffee seedbed has to be protected from the sun by putting up a shade over it. See how the coffee plants are protected from sun. You can see in the picture. For making the shade, they needed some creepers. For that, the workers sent Sanna to the forest. Sanna brought a whole bundle of creepers, a lot of creepers. Myra, another worker, opened the bundle. Seeing one creeper in the bundle, he scolded Sanna, asking, "Why did you pluck this, you fool?" The author wanted to know why Myra is angry with Sanna. He also went to the forest to see the creeper along with Myra and Sanna. When Sanna showed the plant, Myra became very active and he caught hold of one of the tendrils and tied it to the nearby tree. The author wanted to know why Myra tied it to the tree. Myra's answer is interesting. He's telling that the plant is cursed by a sage, a god man, and the curse is that when someone needs this plant, they shall not find it. That is why he tied it. In the next paragraph, the author describes the plant. It has small leaves resembling betel leaves and has fruits in a bunch like grapes. Now the author gives his own views on why the plant is not seen for most of the year. After the rainy season, this creeper comes up and puts forth flowers and fruits and dies. It comes up again only in the next rainy season. So in between, no one sees this plant. They tied it to the nearby tree so that it can be easily located. I think you also have seen plants which can be found only during rainy season. Next paragraph, the author makes a comment. One must realize that if one disappears, the other becomes useless. What does it mean? The old generation people know about many medicinal plants, but without sharing the information to the younger generation, they die. So now we lose the knowledge about many medicinal plants. Even though the plants are available, there should be someone to know their medicinal values. Without persons who know about the medicinal plants, the plants themselves become useless. Even though the author wanted to know about the creeper, Mara also did not tell him what exactly it cured. Instead, he tells many stories about the creeper. He tells 3 stories. For examination purpose also, they are very important. In the next 3 paragraphs, you can see the first story told by Mara. One day, Mara had gone to the forest to bring some bamboo shoots home. What are bamboo shoots? Bamboo shoots are used as vegetable. See the bamboo plants and bamboo shoots in the image. When he was cutting the bamboo shoot, he accidentally cut his hand. He was using a sickle to cut the shoots. Sickle is a type of knife. See the image. The sharp sickle cut an artery, which is a blood vessel which carries blood from the heart to the body parts, and it started bleeding heavily. Someone brought some leaf, pressed it against the wound, and bandaged it with a cloth. Holding his hand carefully, Mara went to the white doctor at Hulihindalu for proper dressing and treatment. The white man took his first aid kit. You can see the image. Opened the bandage and removed the leaf. It was a great surprise. No blood, no wound, no sign of any wound. Thinking that Mara was trying to fool him, the white man became angry. Mara showed him all the blood on his body and pleaded him, saying that he was not lying. The Englishman believed Mara and told him to show the plant from which he plucked the leaf. The white man was even ready to give his entire plantation for that plant. Both Mara and the Englishman went to the forest and searched for that plant from morning to evening, but it was not there. The Englishman thought that Mara is a greedy person and that is why he does not want to identify the plant. He thought that Mara wanted more money, so he became very angry and wanted to shoot Mara. Mara fell at the Englishman's feet and begged him for life. He just escaped from the gunpoint. Are you able to believe this story? I think no. Tejasvi also was not able to believe this cock and bull story, this made up story, fabricated story. He asked Mara why he didn't search near the bamboo bush where he was hurt. For that question, he answered that the mongoose and cowcal, crow pheasant, it's a bird, if they are bitten by poisonous snakes, they immediately chew the leaf and cure themselves. You can see the images of mongoose and cowcal. Now come the second story. Mara had no teeth on the right side of his mouth. He had to chew everything on the left side. He was an aged person and perhaps they had fallen off naturally. That was the thought of the author. But if age is the reason, both sides will not have teeth. The author decided to ask Mara about this. He told him an interesting story. Mara told that he had lost his right side teeth when he was young itself. Once Mara had laid a trap in the forest to catch rabbits. He was worried that somebody else may go there before him and take his rabbits. So he went to the forest before daybreak. The trap was empty. There was a stream, a small river nearby. Mara decided to brush his teeth and wash his face. He broke a small stick from the nearby plant and brushed his teeth. Suddenly, he felt a sour taste in the mouth. He thought that there was something wrong with the stick. He wanted to rinse his mouth before taking another stick. He took some water from the stream and washed his mouth and spat it out. All the teeth which had been touched by the stick tumbled out of his mouth. Tejasvi was not able to believe this story and he requested Myra to tell believable lies. He wanted Myra to show him the plant. Myra tells Tejasvi to go to the forest and brush with all the plants there and find out the plant. They started a debate. At last, Tejasvi says Myra, there may be a plant that will bring back his youth, so he should try with all plants in the forest. Myra answered that if he had become young, he would have to marry again. He does not want to marry again. Next paragraph starts with another story, the third story told by Myra. Long ago, Myra and a friend of his laid a trap and caught a barking deer. You can see the image of the barking deer. Barking deer is an Asian deer, makes barking sound. They skinned the deer and divided equally between them. They wrapped their portions and some leaves and brought them home. In Myra's house, he and his wife prepared masala with spices, put the water to boil, and opened the package to take out the meat. Surprise of surprises. Instead of the meat, there was a live wild buck. Buck means male deer. It jumped up and ran out of his house. When Myra was trying to catch it, his wife took the leaves and threw them into the fire. After listening this unbelievable story, Purnendra Tejasvi did not ask any questions to Myra because he knew that that was the height of his inventive genius, the limit of his imagination. A few years later, Tejasvi sold the estate and Myra also passed away. It was difficult to dismiss all of Myra's stories as bunkum, nonsense. There was some truth in his stories. After a long time, Purnendra Tejasvi saw the creeper when Appanna was tying it to a nearby tree. According to Appanna, the juice of these leaves is mixed with milk. Milk becomes hard. Tejasvi decided to test it along with his friend Chandru, a plant pathologist. They put the milk and leaves into a mixer and switched it on. After they were thoroughly mixed or completely mixed, they poured it into a vessel. After some time, it had become firm and rubbery. When they inverted the vessel, the whole thing fell out like a molded cast, taking the shape of the vessel. Still, the author did not know which disease or diseases it cured. Though no one seemed to know, just like Myra, all and sundry means common people, they used to go around tying this creeper and whispering, "Stay there." After a long time, one of his former farm worker, Krishna, came to meet Tejasvi. Krishna was perfectly healthy when he was working with the author, but now he looks pale and breathless. He is suffering from piles and passing blood with his tools. The only remedy for piles was surgery at that time, and it was expensive. Krishna was a poor man struggling to make a living. Taking some money from Tejasvi, he went to the hospital and the doctor advised him surgery. Krishna was scared. Krishna knew a Malayali sadhu, a goatman. That goatman had treated him on an earlier occasion when Krishna had started developing boils all over his body. The goatman had given Krishna the bark of some tree and told him to crush and mix with the duck's egg and eat. The full course of treatment was 10 days and he got cured completely. Completely. So now Krishna decides to meet the goatman again. The goatman had become very old. So he described the plant and told Krishna to find the plant, dig out the tuberous roots, and mix it with milk and drink it for 5 days. Image of tuberous root you can see. When Krishna described the plant, Purnendra Tejasi understood that he was looking for the same creeper which Mara and Aparna had tied to the nearest tree. Tejasvi took him to the plant. Krishna ground the roots and drank with milk. He was completely cured in 5 days. Now the author describes his own healing story. When they had dug up the root, Tejasvi ate just a small piece of it to know the taste. It was slightly bitter. Tejasvi's right heel had been paining for quite some time. There was a swelling next to the bone of his heel. It had to be surgically removed. That was the doctor's opinion. But a few days after he had eaten the piece of root, the swelling had disappeared. But still, there is no clarification about the type of swelling it cures. The people who know about the medicinal plants are not ready to share their knowledge to other people because they believe that if they told others about their medicines, the medicines would lose their potency, their power to heal. That's only a superstition. That is why India's native medicinal systems are on the verge of extinction. So, according to the author, those who know about the medicinal plants should share their knowledge for the well being of the society. I hope you understood the lesson. Thank you all.